Thanks, everyone. This will be our second community meeting. We're going to be holding this meeting at 3 p.m. every day, at least this week, and then we'll reassess as information's changing. Information is changing very, very rapidly at this point, so we're trying to keep folks as informed as possible. I'm going to turn it over to the Chief of Police to kick us off.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. We appreciate you. A couple of things that we want to update you on. Number one, before I start that, who here didn't scream, even though we haven't got all power, but when we just saw partial power, who didn't go crazy? I know I did. So this is exciting. It's still going to be a process. There's a lot of trees. There's a lot of power lines. It's going to be a big process. So exciting news, and we want to rest on that because every day is going to get better. That's what you need to rest on. Number two, want to make sure you know that we're still working on shelters. Buncombe County is, and we're going to get that information out to you as soon as we can. So just know that we're still working towards making sure that there's shelters for everybody. A couple of things that are important. So the interstate now, I-40, from what we've been told, I can always make mistakes because information's tough right now. But it is open east and west. Now, what we are going to do, our infrastructure is still struggling, right? So we still have roadway issues and needs. So what we're going to do is limit access. We're going to make sure that the people, like if someone needs to come visit your home, someone needs to come help you, they're allowed in. We're going to make sure that the first responders and the donations are allowed in. And we're going to try to make sure, but what we're doing is just somewhat limiting access so that we don't make our infrastructure struggle because we're already tapped. So just letting you know that that's going on.
How are you going to do that?
We're placing officers at each exit ramp.
Just exit 64 here?
No, we're doing the 3 exits. Now, we're not going to be able to control everything. We know that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me get all the questions after. I appreciate you. I know we all have questions. We're going to have the booth afterwards, and you are going to be allowed to ask questions. Otherwise, we'll get bogged down. Safety and security, we're going around. We're trying to make sure that safety and security of everybody's residents, everything has been amazing. Everybody's been great. People are helping everybody. We haven't had issues that we've been told about, so I just want you to know that right now things are going very well, and we don't expect that to change. And so those are just the limited things that we wanted to let you know. We're still continuing to get assistance from other agencies so that we can make sure that we're delivering the best service to all of you. And that's currently what we're doing, and I'll turn it back over.
All right, thank you. And I didn't start out by just saying how hard these folks work. Our police chief hasn't slept at home since this started. So if we look tired up here, it's because we are. So give us some grace. I'm going to turn it over to the fire chief.
All right, so what we're doing now is we are continuing our rescue efforts as far as any additional. Sorry, can you hear me now? Okay. All right, we're still continuing our efforts right now. Missions for today is we are getting back into those inaccessible areas that we first made contact with folks, and we made a promise to go back, so we're going back today. We're getting ready to, we already had a volunteer team get into some of the really treacherous areas for us and made contact with those people and make sure that they're still self-sufficient and there's not any emergent needs. It was reported back to me, they completed their mission this afternoon. It was reported back to me that they are good. They were given additional supplies. There's no emergent need, and they are able to sustain a little while longer until we're able to get more shelters open and get these people out into a better place. We are also, I just want to let you know, confirmed numbers, not unconfirmed, but confirmed people that we've rescued so far. And I was wrong on my initial number. I thought it was 320. It's actually a little over 450 people we've saved.
Wow.
In just one rescue alone, we had only one call, and the guys back there were able to rescue 93 people on one call up over here in Blue Ridge Assembly.
Oh, wow.
There's still people out there that need help. We're getting those resources in to continue the efforts, but right now, everything seems to be looking really, really well. The one thing that I need, and I need help from the public. This is where I need you. So the power came back on. That is great, but there was a concern. We wanted to get out here and pull the meters from the damaged structures, because what happens is when they put the power back on, that electricity, y'all are smart people, you know what would happen. The electricity comes back to a severely damaged building, and that can cause structure fires. When the power came back on, I was happy, but at the same time, I got a little nervous, and then we did have 4 calls pretty close for structure fire. There was one over here where it was just down lines that were sparking in a tree. There was nothing we could do because we couldn't risk going in there and getting our people hurt. Duke Power was able to assist us with that, so we got that under control. But if your house is still, if you're still staying in it, but it's damaged, we just ask that you go out and hit your main breaker at your panel. And when the power comes back on, let's assess that. Contact us if your house is damaged. We'll try and figure out a way later on to where we can start making a list. If your house is damaged and you're staying in it, just so we don't further the situation. We can't have 14 house fires at the same time while we're still doing rescue efforts. So we're pulling meters today. We're making those structures safe so we don't have multiple incidents at one time. But yes, if your house is damaged and you're in it, hit your main breaker. That's going to help us. That'll help us from having to, with the limited resources we have now. I'm sorry I'm rambling on, but I'll have more for you tomorrow. But that's where we're at today. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. All right, now we're going to hear from our town manager, who's going to talk about town operations and how we're working towards those. Josh.
Hey everybody, a little bit less crowd today. Hopefully folks got some good information tomorrow or yesterday, and they're making their way with doing what they need to be doing. We are also working on, aside from the emergency side, we have to work on getting back to operations as a town. We have to get our government back in order and make sure we're doing the things we need to be doing. We now have internet access here. We also have internet access at our town hall building, so we will be starting to operate out of there and doing what we need to do on a daily basis to run operations in town, from paying bills to making sure people are paid, all the good stuff. I'm going to let Jamie update you on garbage and sanitation, as well as some roads, because I know that's on everyone's mind. What do we do with this garbage? But we do have a plan in place, and he's going to let you know that. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. So everybody's had good news, and I'll start out with the bad news. I like to get that out of the way first.
I just got here that safety alert went out.
Okay, we'll discuss that.
Okay,
Okay. So the bad news first. This is probably the biggest group of people I've ever been around that ain't had a bath. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Bad news. This is probably the biggest group of people I've ever been around that ain't had a shower, okay? That's the only bad news I got. So it looks good to see your smiling face, and maybe we can find a little humor through this now that things are looking good. I'll start out with sanitation. Sanitation, we are working to get some 15-yard dumpsters in here. We're going to have 6. We're going to start out with 6. 2 different locations. I won't share those locations right now because we don't have them on site, but I do know they are en route. The only thing I would like to make very clear, it's for garbage only, okay? It's not for furniture, debris cleanup. It's to get rid of your household garbage, and there will be a limit of 4 bags, okay? If we decide that's not enough, we will try to assume more resources and get them in here, but let's start with that. And I know that sanitation, along with water and any infrastructure, is a very tense situation, and it gets very exciting trying to get rid of this stuff. But we do have a plan, and we're going to take care of you, okay? I just ask that everybody work together, you know, and just be nice to one another, like Steve Parker was saying yesterday. That's the biggest thing to getting through these situations, is pulling together as a community, okay? I would like to say a little bit about my department, because it is my department, and I don't think people understand exactly what all they do. But we work very, very close here as a team, and I want to explain a little bit about that. When this started, all of our teams worked together. We had fire, police, and public works. We help fire department, police department also helps fire department make these rescues. Public works saws into these areas people can't get to. They don't realize that we're right on the front line with them. So when they left out, you had a crew from the fire department, you had 2 police officers, and you had a public works crew. You also had a swiftwater rescue team making these missions. So it ain't just one department. All 3 of these departments are one department, and I want to make that clear. We've all went through the same thing, and I don't want to beat a dead horse. I don't think I even have to explain to you that you got a good group of people, and you take me out of it, don't even include me. Your employees in this town are top notch, and you're not going to find no better, and I'll promise you, I'll put them up against anybody, anywhere. Okay? So, moving on to water infrastructure, and I know that's a big thing, and that's something that we really need right now, okay? We are making progress. I actually got a material list together today. I've got my water operator who's worked till 3 o'clock every night out looking and assessing these situations. Rural Water reached out to me today wanting to know if we need supplies and to get it to them in a hurry. I got the supply list together. We got power to our pumps now. We are still waiting on Asheville to make their repairs, and I just be patient with them because they're dealing with a 24-inch line that they can't even hardly get access to. But I just want you to know, all these utility companies, just because I'm a utility guy, they're working hard. It ain't just us. These people are away from their families 24/7 trying to get us back in power, water, electricity, right down to your cable and telephone. One of our biggest issues in this department has been communication because I can't reach out to my staff. We did get radios today. That helped. So I just want to say we're moving forward. Just be patient. We're ahead of the game. So as soon as we can get this list, start making these repairs, Asheville get their leak fixed, we will get our pump stations back online. We will start pumping water to these tanks and fixing leaks. I will say this, it's still going to be a while. It's going to be weeks because there will be extensive water testing that will have to take place through these labs to make sure it's safe for you to drink. There will be a boil water notice for these people that didn't get this message. I want to make this is really important, okay? If you was to get water before anybody else, you boil that water vigorously for 1 minute. I don't care if you play in it, bathe in it. I don't care. It ain't going to hurt you. If you're going to consume it, you need to boil it. At that point, when our testing comes back from the state and says that water's good to drink, we will send out a code red to this whole town. We will put it on the town's website. We will get it out to you any way possible to let you know that that water's safe to drink. So just stay tuned. There's good news coming. Okay?
All right, today is a good news day. If anybody feels that, that's how we're feeling. With the power back on, we're making progress. They're making progress on getting resources here. There is water and food distribution at Ingalls continuously from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Those supplies are coming in every single day reliably, and to be honest, we're kind of overwhelmed with how many supplies are coming in. The churches, the businesses, everyone in town is giving out food and water, so don't feel like you have to ration that bottled water you're getting. There is plenty. We are handing it out at this meeting. It is coming in the droves. We are also going to start offering hot meals, lunch and dinner at Ingalls starting this evening. We have had organizations, worldwide organizations, come to our town and offer to cook for y'all. So especially if you don't have power and you are missing your hot meal, go by Ingalls, fill up your water, get your hot meal. The food is good. The other good news, in about an hour, a public charging and internet station is going to become active. Yes. This is at the south parking lot at the First Baptist Church, just this way, just behind the Fifth Third Bank, right where they installed that new crosswalk. It is a Starlink internet service, so if you can make Wi-Fi calls, you can get a call out there, you can get on the internet, and you can charge. And all of that is solar powered, so it's reliable as long as we don't get a week of rain, and it's not taking away from the resources in town. Speaking of resources, I said we are good on food and water coming into town. We are not good on fuel yet. As y'all probably noticed, the gas stations opened this morning when the power got on, the ones that could, and the lines were long, and when they run out of gas, those fuel trucks are not coming in yet. Conserve the fuel that you have because those supplies are limited and unreliable, and it is a regional issue right now for fuel that we are all dealing with. We also have public restrooms available now at the visitor center. There are only 4 porta potties so far. They are getting cleaned regularly and more are ordered, and they will be set up throughout town. We'll have more info on that tomorrow. I know that is something that folks have really been asking for. I also wanted to mention about the roads. So this is changing rapidly. Chief Parker said 40 is open in both directions. We have confirmed that with McDowell County EMS too. If you go down the mountain, you can come back up right now. For a while, it was only limited to emergency personnel. However, just because of that landslide, that might be changing on a daily basis. So don't assume if it's open today that it'll remain open. That's their goal, but things are changing rapidly. I-40 is still closed to Tennessee. I-26 is still closed to Tennessee. I-26 south to South Carolina is open both directions. So those are your best options to get in and out, or if you need folks to come in and bring you supplies.
Hey Lisa, can I mention about our roads?
Yes.
When you get done.
Yep. You want to do that now? Let's do that now while we're on roads. We have a road update in town.
Yep. So real quick, something that I forgot because there's just so much to remember. I can't remember it all, and I just remember it when she touched on it. So what we done, we got a plotter set up in here, and the girl that works for me, does our GIS, she made I sent the crew out to get an assessment of all of our roads and which ones are blocked, why they're blocked, whether they even exist anymore. If you'd like to see that map, it is floating around here somewhere. You're more than welcome to look at it afterwards.
Where's the map?
Here it is. Rhinestone has it.
We'll have it up here.
This gives you an idea of just how many roads in this town's blocked. As these crews go out, we're doing what we call a push and shove. We're not allowed to clean any debris up right now because that's through FEMA, okay, and it's being set up. But what we are doing is open these roads for access. So if you see the crews out clearing these roads, that's what they're doing. This is what I call my elephant. That's what I told the crew. This is an elephant. We're going to eat one piece of this thing at a time till it's gone, okay? So that's where we're at on our roads.
All right. Thank you, Jamie. I just have very few updates and then we'll close this out. So I mentioned that we are getting donations from all over the country. They are coming in. People are here to support us. However, that means we are overwhelmed in terms of accepting donations at this center. If you are leaving town and you want to clear out your pantry and donate it, give it to your neighbors, give it to the churches. We cannot accept those small household donations at this time through the Emergency Management Center. We are reserving that for the big truck shipments that we are getting in, and all of that will be distributed through Ingalls. I also wanted to mention we have a volunteer group that is coordinating community resources, and they are doing an amazing job. One of the things they're setting up is a community medical center. If folks have medical experience for medical or mental health, there will be a meeting at 10 a.m. at the First Baptist Church where the charging center is. Go in the south entrance. They are going to be setting up a medical and mental health resource center for the community, and they are needing folks with experience to help with that. The final thing I wanted to mention is that that was tomorrow. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. tomorrow for the medical thing. Okay, and then the last thing, we have internet now in our command center, so we're going to start sending out this information daily as press releases as well, so that if you have family out of town, if you decide that you are not going to stay here, you can get that information on a daily basis. So we're sharing these updates both here at our town meetings and through the Town of Black Mountain Facebook page and through their email list on press releases. We want to make sure that y'all have all the information that we know every single day. With that, I think, unless anybody behind me, I'm going to let Steve close it out.
So I just wanted to say one more thing that I felt important. What is important to me, and I don't care about the politics. I've retired already once. I can go now if I want to. Doesn't matter to me. What I do want to acknowledge is this man, Josh Harold, your town manager, has been amazing in supporting us department heads would not be able to do what we have been able to do. So whether you hear Facebook rumors, people telling lies, things coming out, I'm telling you this man has been incredible, and I wanted to make sure that we acknowledge him. Now I do also want to say one more thing. Council members, please raise your hand. Please raise your hand. Our council has also been so supportive. You have no idea the stresses that this puts on us. You will never know. You will never know. I've been doing this 34 years and I never have had this much stress in my life. Your council members have been amazing. They're hugging us, they're loving us, and they're telling us whatever we need. And I just wanted to close with that. I thank you for everybody being here, and we will see you again tomorrow at 3 p.m.